Hey everyone! This is the Marvelously Morbid podcast. I'm Sylvia.
And this is Matissa.
And we love morbid shit.
We do.
And hopefully other people do too. So, what do you think got you into loving the morbid side of life?
I don't know. I always have since I was a kid. And
Me
I
too.
thought maybe
Other people would.
Yeah.
Because we're fucked up.
Yes.
And I literally just caught myself trying to change my accent.
Don't do it.
For all you listeners, as I'm sure you can tell, we're from Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky. Let's be more specific.
Yeah, we're hill people.
We are.
We crawled out of our holler and bought a recorder. And now we're here to discuss morbid events. And I like celebrity deaths and things that involve celebrities, weird movie deaths, all kinds of death.
And I know nothing about pop culture or movies. I'm more into like historical deaths and other cultures' funerary customs.
Yes, I love funerary customs too. We just basically thought that there are going to be other people like us. We're very anxious. I just took half of a Klonopin to make it through this podcast, so we're very outward about any kind of issues. Anxious Annie over here. That'd be me. I'm rambling. But anyway, so today, what we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to talk and Matissa's going to listen because she doesn't know the story, is the death of Brandon Lee on the movie The Crow. So, I was a huge Brandon Lee fan when I was a kid. I went through that emo phase where it's like, I'm going to dress in black and I'm going to collect Crow cards and I'm going to dress as the Crow for every Halloween because I have no life. And have you ever seen The Crow?
I've seen parts of it. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing through. I do that with a lot of movies. Like I remember just
Parts
bits
of
and
it.
pieces, or I don't.
I do too. I think we started watching it here one night, but
I think so. We did.
We may have been drunk. I may have been.
Yes.
Matissa probably wasn't. She's an angel.
I am.
But essentially, the movie The Crow is, I'll just sum it up a little bit. It's about a man who gets murdered. So we're starting out well already in the morbid facet. He and his fiancée get murdered, and he comes back from the dead a year later to avenge her murder. That's it in a nutshell. So my story is about the film star Brandon Lee. So Brandon Lee was an American actor and martial artist. Some people may know him as the son of Bruce Lee.
I do know Bruce Lee.
Yeah, who was way popular back in his day. But Bruce Lee died when Brandon was 8. So early in Brandon's acting career, it seems like he was destined to follow Bruce's path. The only films that he really got roles in were kung fu movies or martial arts. And he really didn't want to do that. It's not that he didn't like martial arts. He did. His father actually invented a form of martial arts. I can't remember exactly what it's called because, honestly, I'm not athletic. I don't know anything about martial arts or exercising. So, someone please, if you know the name of the martial arts style, just, let us know. I might mention it next episode, or I could just forget it altogether. Who knows? But anyway, in 1992, he landed his breakthrough role as Eric Draven in The Crow, which was based on a comic book of the same name. He was the starring actor. Everything's great. The future looked bright. He had the role of a lifetime, and he was engaged to the love of his life, Eliza. And he was just looking forward to becoming a mainstream star as well as marrying his best friend. He did many of his own stunts, and his performance in the film was just... It was awesome.
Top notch.
It was top notch. Exactly. So, toward the end of filming, March 31st, and please interrupt me if you have any questions or anything like that, because I'm a rambler and a gambler. I'm just kidding. I have no money to gamble. I don't gamble. This is the Christian podcast. I'm just kidding. Okay. So on March 31st, 1993, it started out like any other day on set. They were due to shoot a flashback scene in which Brandon's character, Eric Draven, walks into his apartment and discovers his fiancée being beaten and raped by a group of thugs. In the scene, actor Michael Massey, he played, I think his name was Fun Boy in the movie. And he looked like a fun boy, long blonde hair. Yeah, I think they were like bell-bottom jeans. I don't know. Look him up. He was a fun boy. Anyway, so in this scene, his character fires a revolver at Brandon's character as he walks into the room. Now, let me give you a little backstory about this revolver, because I can't imagine this happening now. It's just a series of...
I'm confused as to how it happened.
Well, good luck, because I'm going to tell you. Now, let me preface by saying that neither of us knows anything about revolvers, and if you hear chewing, that is my dog in the background, and if I cut out, it's because suddenly my nose is the itchiest nose in the entire world. But anyway, so, about the revolver. In a previous scene, they'd used the same gun fitted with dummy cartridges, which, from what I gather, are just bullets with no powder or primer. They're just bullets, and they won't be fired because they don't have any powder or primer to propel them. Yes, exactly. Between us both, we can figure out guns. So, since they were running behind on filming and short on time, just for general reasons, a lot of movies run behind. I didn't look into why, because I'm a horrible researcher, and that's that story. So, since they were running behind on time, the prop crew created, wait for it, their own dummy cartridges.
No.
Yes. So someone made the conscious decision to be like, you know what? We don't need to buy these. We'll just create our own. What could go wrong?
Everything.
Literally everything goes wrong. So they just created their own dummy cartridges by pulling the bullets from live rounds. Dumping all the powder, charge, and then reinserting the bullets into the gun.
Wow.
Yeah. However, unknowingly, because, they were the ultimate professionals, apparently. Don't kill me, any prop people, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're professional. I'm just being sarcastic. And I want you to know right off the bat, we're sarcastic people. We like to laugh. We're not making fun of anybody's death or unfortunate situation.
Right, because this is obviously serious.
This is obviously a tragedy. Yes, and someone died. And we're not trying to make light of that. However, we are just trying to make light of life in general. So if you hear us laughing or anything like that, just know that we're not making fun of the person or the situation. Anyway, that was my PSA for the day. So, they unknowingly left the live percussion primer in place at the rear of the cartridge. And at some point during filming, the revolver was apparently discharged with one of these improperly made dummy bullets in the chamber. And I've actually heard that it was the prop person that pulled the trigger on the gun to make sure nothing would come out and everything was okay. I don't know if that's true, so if I'm wrong...
So they did test it prior to using it.
They did fire it prior to using it. But there were several other
rounds in there where things could have gone wrong, and they did.
Okay,
we're getting there. Okay,
we're getting there. Okay. I'm just getting there in a roundabout, weird way.
Okay.
Because I'm round and weird. Round and weird. All right. So at some point it was discharged, blah, 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 with one of these improperly made dummy bullets in the chamber, setting off the primer with enough force to drive the bullet partway into the barrel, but nothing came out. And it became stuck in the barrel, which is apparently known as a squib load. Those are two words put together that I've never heard.
I haven't either.
But why would we? We know nothing about guns. So the prop crew either failed to notice or failed to recognize the significance of this issue. Since nothing came out of the gun, they just thought it was fine. So in the fatal scene, which called for the revolver to be actually fired at Lee from a distance of around 15 feet, the dummy cartridges were exchanged for blank rounds, which feature a live powder charge and primer, but no bullet. So kind of the opposite of a dummy round is a point.
What they had previously done.
Exactly.
But now there's a fake bullet lodged
in the barrel.
Okay.
And no one knows about it.
Okay.
So basically they've just put a bunch of powder charge and primer in this gun that unknowingly has a bullet stuck in the barrel. Yeah. So, and to add to this, the production company had sent the firearms specialist home early. Okay. Of course they did. So responsibility for the guns was given to the prop assistant, who was not aware of the rule to check all firearms before and after any handling, which I do not think that would happen today. I really don't. Not. Hopefully not, at least after this incident. Well, let me get to the incident. So, the barrel was not checked for any obstructions, and when it came time to load it with the blank rounds, no one had checked the actual barrel. So, since the bullet from the dummy round was already trapped in the barrel, this caused it to be fired out of the barrel with virtually the same force as if the gun had been loaded with a live round, and it struck Lee in the abdomen. And I read it was, I think, right below his belly button. What's that huge vein or artery or whatever that runs along the side of your abdomen? I don't know. We're also not anatomists. Is that a word?
I don't know. I don't think that's a word.
That's probably... We're also not English majors. So we know nothing about anatomy, nothing about guns.
We're not qualified in anything.
Nothing about English. Yes, we're horribly unqualified for everything in life. And, well, that's just kind of...
Okay.
That's how we wound up podcasting. So, lucky you. Anyway. So it struck him in the abdomen. He was rushed to the New Hanover Regional Medical Center in Wilmington, North Carolina, where this was being shot. He underwent 6 hours worth of surgery, but attempts to save him were unsuccessful. And he was pronounced dead at 1:03 p.m. on March 31st, 1993 at the age of 28. The shooting was ruled an accident. Can you imagine the actor who fired that gun? And I looked him up. He's dead now. He passed away at like 64 or 65. But I couldn't imagine the kind of guilt that would leave you with. Or the prop assistant.
So many people were negligent. Like, it took the negligence of so many people for it to actually happen.
Exactly. And it's like, wow. But anyway. So after his death... The producers were faced with the decision of whether or not to continue with the film. He had completed almost all of his scenes already, and he only had 3 days left to film. So it was almost finished. So Paramount, which was initially interested in distributing the movie, pulled out due to the controversy over the fact that it was a violent movie and that, Brandon Lee died violently in a violent movie. They just thought it was better to pull out. And who? Maybe it was. However, Miramax picked it up, invested another $8 million in it, and did a bunch of rewrites, tweaked the flashback scenes using a stunt double with Lee's face superimposed through CGI, which I did not even know existed in
Back
94.
then, I didn't either.
But if you watch this movie visually, it doesn't look like it was filmed in 1994. So, maybe we were a lot more... technologically advanced than I thought. Of course, I was only 11. And you were even younger. Yeah. So anyway, they did that. And this is why in the final cut of the movie, Funboy throws a knife at his character to injure him instead of shooting him, which was the scene that they were filming when he died. So... The Crow was a hit at the box office. It grossed over $50 million. It more than doubled its original budget, so that's great at that time. And Roger Ebert stated that it was, not only was this Lee's best film, but it was better than any of his father's. And critics generally thought that this would have been a breakthrough film for him. So, it's about to get a little heavy. Not that it's not already heavy, but... warning, it gets a little bit sad. It gets a little bit more sad. It's already sad. So on March 19th, 1993, a week and a half before his death, Lee met with an interviewer, Ira Taylor. Is Ira Taylor on NPR? Where have I heard that name? I may have made that up.
Yeah, I don't think I've...
Matissa's face tells me